We need to have a serious talk. I am not going to be doing flatbed. I am not ready. And I am not spending another hour with this man. If you are out with a mentor and they belittle you, make you feel like an idiot, make you feel like a child, don't put up with it. Hello, truckers, drivers, and adventurers. I am the Killer Trucker. Currently not in training, more like the Killer Trucker stranded out in California. Oh my word. I'm at Santa Nella, California. There is like nothing here except for like 3 truck stops, a Wendy's and a Carl's Jr., and the hotel. I think across the freeway there's the small town of Santanella. I was thinking about walking over there. My driver qualification leader, who I've been in constant contact with, she's been saying, no, I don't really want you out there walking. I don't want you in danger. And I'm like, I'm okay. Honestly, I'm all right. Oh my goodness. It has been, it's just been so interesting of what's been going on lately. I could not have scripted a better soap opera. I mean, honestly, I could not have scripted this even if I wanted to. So what's happening? So I'm here in the hotel. They've been trying to find a trucker with a truck route that's coming south along the I-5 that will get me to Jurupa Valley. And Jurupa Valley is the place I was at previously that had the Swift terminal. So you remember from Mission 1, from the Mission 1 episode, we ended up in Jurupa Valley. And also, for the start of Mission 2, before what happened in regards to me leaving the truck. So yeah, that's Jurupa Valley. Now I have a new mentor already lined up, and it's absolutely crazy. This whole story is just, it's just wicked. It's just weird. You know, it's one of those Twilight Zone type of moments type of thing. You can also throw some spiritual elements in there also. So yeah, this thing with this previous mentor that I had to get away from this guy. I could not spend one more minute, 5 minutes, 1 hour, whatever the case was. And I'm being serious. It's not one of those things where, oh, you should just grit your teeth and deal with it type of thing. No, you folks don't understand. I have a limit. There's a line, and I know where that line is in regards to my physical limits and my mental emotional limits, and I was right there. The best thing for me to do was to get out of that situation. Had I stayed any longer, we'd have a different story right now. I absolutely had to just get away from this guy. So yeah, so here I am. And I am in much better spirits just being here in the hotel, knowing that I'm safe and that I'm away from that guy who's probably all the way up in Oregon by now. Goodbye, good riddance, whatever. But yeah, so when I had made the decision, I had, uh, I had, after I had made the decision that I was going to get off this guy's truck, I decided, you know what? I'm going to go have myself a shower, wash up from the previous day, because I'm not riding with this guy. I'm not driving, and I'm not going to be unloading that coil that he's got. So I'm going to clean up. So I was going, through the fuel island, and I was going to go to the Loves to take a shower there. And I came across another Swift driver. I said, hi, how are you? And then I was going to continue walking, and I just got this feeling that I should continue talking to him. So I did. And I said, hey, you wouldn't happen to be a mentor by chance? And he said, yes, I am. And I'm like, can you take me with you? I said, my mentor is crazy, and I have got to get away from him. And he says, oh man, I have a student right now, but I only have him for 2 more days. And he and we just started talking, and we just hit it off right off the bat. We had some laughs. We joked. We talked about a few things that we had in common. I instantly had chemistry with this guy. Instantly. And I knew right off the bat, this is the guy that I want to train me on the road. This is the one that I want. I don't want anyone else. I don't care how long it takes until I get him. Because I met him. I don't want to go through the process of getting some random person that I don't know. I've now met this individual. I know that I can trust him to give me the training that I need to help prepare me for the road. He's dry-van. So that was the main reason why I quit Flatbed, because I wanted to be with this guy. If he was reefer or dry-van or whatever, I was switching so I could be trained by this man. But it also helped me realize that I was not physically ready for Flatbed anyway. My previous mentor, I saw him pick up that coil. No, he didn't pick it up. But the coil, it had to be tarped. Those tarps are heavy. When I tried to pick up the tarp, I was like picking it up and like this bag of trail mix here, and like trying to carry it. I couldn't lift that thing and put it over my shoulder. I could barely do it during the agility test. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't even lift it up to put it on my shoulder. And this guy, he picks it up like it's nothing and just tosses it right on top of the coil so he can get it tarped. I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to do that. So it was a wake-up call for me that maybe I need to do flatbed some other time when I am more physically ready for it. But also, this change will give me the basic ground experience that I need in regards to being on the road. So I can go ahead and build my experience up being on the road and stuff, and then maybe later down the road, after I've worked out and I got my muscles, and I can, maybe bench 200 pounds or something, without, feeling like my arms are going to fall off, then I can look into going in the flatbed. And I've already talked to the Flatbed Division, and they've been totally understanding, and they've been wonderful to talk to. And they said, absolutely, when you feel you're ready, please come back to us. And he had said to me, thank you so much for your honesty and realizing what your limitations are, because we have people come in here and they, they don't acknowledge their limits, et cetera, et cetera. So no, the Flatbed Division, they have been wonderful to work with. The Driver Qualification Team with Swift has been just absolutely fantastic. I can't say enough good things about them. I'm running out of things to say because I would be repeating myself. They've just been marvelous. I've said in previous videos that if you wanted to get in the trucking industry, and I mentioned that I think you would do well with Swift. I'm sticking by that. I am sticking by that. They've been taking care of me. The person that's assigned to me since the beginning, as far as the trainer goes. See, you got driver qualification leaders and then driver leaders. The driver leaders is when you go solo. The driver qualification is when you're on the road training. So there's a lady that is assigned to me, and she's been absolutely fantastic. She's been worried about my safety. She's trying to find ways to get me out of here, and it's been an interesting. And we'll get into that. But and she's heard my request on getting this guy for my mentor that I met. That fellow, when he saw I was going to take a shower, and I said, I was going to go pay for a shower. He said, no. I've got free showers on my card, on his Love's card. He says, I'll go get you one. And well, my previous mentor didn't do that. This guy's a total stranger, and he hooked me up. He hooked me up with a free shower. Heck, I think he was probably going to buy me water or something too, but I told him I was okay. Very generous, sweet individual. And that's how I knew that this is the guy that it was meant to be. It was absolutely meant to be. The chances are astronomical, the fact that I met him when I did, because it was early in the morning. You folks remember, I couldn't sleep. I maybe fell asleep maybe for an hour, but other than that, I couldn't fall asleep because, one, I was bothered by being in this truck with this guy, and then that optic idle thing with the truck where it would be quiet, and then it would you would hear the truck turn on, and then it would honk the horn twice, which was loud, and then it would start up, and then after a while it would shut off, and the whole truck would shake and rattle, just like this. Just like me knocking this lamp here. Just like that. It was a really, I mean, oh man, that got me dizzy. When the truck shut off, it shook the whole thing. I'm laying there, I'm like, well, hell, I can't sleep in this. I didn't have to deal with that in the Top Gun thing because we didn't use the optic idle. The truck just idled throughout the night. And I was able to sleep just fine. But there were two things that were bothering me. One was that optic idle thing. I'm like, nope, this is just not working for me. And I have solutions to get around that when I get my own truck. So we'll get into that, of how I can stay comfortable without having to let the truck run all night. So I've already got a game plan for that. So if you're not subscribed to the channel and you haven't clicked that notification bell, you need to do so. You need to do so. Yes, you do. Because you don't want to miss this. I mean, this is better than any soap opera on television. At least I think so. I know it's my soap opera. Yeah, but it was just weird. It was just a weird chance that I met him, and I think it was like 2 in the morning, or no, I think it was somewhere like around 3 in the morning. I think. Because I went to go take a shower, and then I came back, I started packing things up, and then I grabbed like my computer or laptop or something, and I started contacting people at the Driver Qualification Team saying, hey, look, I want off this guy's truck, and you know, explaining everything. But the fact that at the time that I made my decision and going to take the shower, and this guy just happening to be there, a swift driver who just happens to be a mentor, who just happens to be finishing up with his current student that only had 2 more days. What are the chances of that happening? Honestly. I mean, stuff like that happens in the movies, you know? You know, just one chance after another, you know, it's like, oh, well, this is kind of convenient. You know, convenient plot line, right? Well, this is not a movie. This is not a TV show. And, you know, it's not a convenient plot line. This is something that really did happen. It was just by chance. And, you know, I think there's more going on than just a, you know, coincidence or chance. So, you know, we won't get into religion or anything like that, you know, on the channel. But I'll let you come to your own conclusions. But it's been an awakening for me. I'll tell you that, because that guy was right there. He was right there in the right place at the right time when I needed him. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that guy has saved me from a really bad situation. Now, granted, he's not here, but it just gave me the confirmation I needed, that I needed to get away from the guy, because even he was telling me that there was something wrong with that driver who is supposedly your mentor. And he wasn't the only one. There was a husband-wife team who I had talked to, and they were saying the same thing. But yeah, so I fought to really get him to be my mentor, and it's official. He is going to be my mentor. It's going to be on Monday. And already this guy has done more for me than what this last person did. He asked me, he says, do you have your books and everything? And I said, yep, I have all my books. And there is hold on, let me grab it. This right here, and I've shown it on one of my previous episodes. This is the Mentor Student Driver Guide, okay? He sent me a text, and he said, you know, pull this out, and he gave me some pages to go over and get familiar with before we meet up on Monday. And it wasn't like pages 1 through 5 or anything like that. I mean, this is a 77-page book, and he gave me, I think it was like 7 or 8 pages, you know, like 23, 33, 40 something, 50 something, and, you know, like page, I don't know. So they you know, they were specific pages he wanted me to look at, and I looked at them, and they had to do with, you know, being on the road, driving, you know, the correct speed, doing the things that you're supposed to do, right? And there was even something there about trip planning, and I'm like looking at this, I'm like, oh my goodness, my last mentor didn't even do that. You want to know what my last mentor did? He asked me did you read the book? Did you read the book? Have you read the book? You want to? I'll tell you what to do with this book. What do I need him for? If all I have to do is read this book, why the hell do I need him? Honestly, I mean, remember I told you that the binder for the flatbed with all the strapping instructions and everything. Remember I told you that I might as well just have my own truck, that manual, and some YouTube videos, and I'd be able to go do this flatbed stuff myself a heck of a lot better than that person I was with. He was no help. I'm sorry, man. That guy was no help. He may have given me a little help, but it was more of a pain in the ass than it was help. So I'm definitely better without that guy, because given time, I would have been in an accident or something. He was just not safe to be with at all. Having me he was wanting me to do things that I was not, that was not how I was trained to do in the academy. And here's the thing, he wasn't even an academy student. All right. Oh yeah, this stuff gets really good, folks. So yes, he's a Swift driver. No, he was not trained by Swift. Okay. Dare me say he's a bonehead trucker? I don't know. He has been in some wrecks early in his career. And when he told me that, I'm like, oh yeah, bonehead trucker. Swifty Swift, at it again. But yeah, no, he wasn't trained with Swift. He was trained by some other CDL school that apparently is not in business anymore. And what he told me, I don't know if this is true or not, but this is what he told me. He said that they just passed anyone. Didn't matter. You could run over all the cones and they would still pass you. And he said Swift was the only one that was willing to give him a chance and hire him. You know, and he made the comments like, Swift will hire anyone. So I mean, I'm not going to go, you know, here or there in regards to that. That makes it sound like Swift is desperate, but let's put everything in context here. Swift is a very big company. So yeah, they're a very big company. They're going to want to put some people in chairs. So that may look like desperation, but they're just a big company. They've got spots to fill, as opposed to a smaller company. You know, yeah, they've got spots to fill also, but they're smaller. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, it's like having a teeny bag of peanuts here, as opposed to a huge bag of, you know, trail mix or something. You know, you only got a few peanuts to put in here to make this a full bag. You know, and this thing is like, you know, half empty just because it's bigger. You all know what I'm talking about. You know, I don't need to go into detail. But yeah, I mean, this guy has been this guy that's going to be my mentor has already done more for me. And he's given me something. He's given me a focus, saying, okay, you know, focus on these pages, and you'll be a leg up on what we're going to be working on. That's what I needed. I don't know anything about this industry, other than it makes for a great video game. It makes for a great video game simulator, you know. That, and you know, just as a child doing this thing when trucks are going by and you're wanting them to honk the air horn, and when they do, you're like, yay! Yeah, my best friend and I, we used to do that. We used to hang out by the road and do this thing to get the drivers to honk the air horn. And now I'm one of those drivers. How about that? But I mean, he's you know, talking to me like an actual trainer, you know, or a mentor, you know, or a teacher, which is, you know, kind of all of that. But, you know, it's like, you know, here, go to your book and look at these pages, you know, we'll talk about it. And when we get together, I mean, he gave me direction. He gave me focus. He didn't just say, you got this book? All right, go be sure to read it. And let me know if you have questions. You know what I mean? I mean, that's not the type of person that I need. I mean, we all learn things differently, right? So, you know, maybe people can learn things the way that Mr. Maniac, who I was with previously, you know, Maybe people can learn well with something like that. I don't know. It was driving me nuts. It was driving me trail nuts, is what it was. But anyway, oh my goodness. It was like, imagine a toxic relationship and you had a breakup because the person is psycho. It's kind of like that. Jeez. Okay, something else that I want to mention, just to kind of get it out of the way, is that I do not blame Swift for this situation at all. When it comes to this mentor, I do not blame them. Number one, they are a huge company. To try to keep track of that many mentors is really hard. Number two, I think it's a strong possibility that there were other students under this guy that either just put up with it, or maybe they just kind of got along with him, or maybe they quit and just said, yeah, screw it, I'll just go do something else, and just didn't really bother, didn't bother to report it, or, whatever the case is. I did notice, and I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but when this mentor, he told me about this before I got to his truck, because he was giving me some closet space, which I thought was very considerate. He was giving me his closet space and a shelf to put my CPAP machine. So he's not a completely bad guy. I just don't think he's a great trainer. But apparently there were 2 other helmets that were in there from 2 previous students. And he said, you can just take those out if you want. You can throw them away. Doesn't matter. And I just kind of thought, why would the students leave their stuff? And I saw some like vests and all kinds of other things. But, with everything that's happened now, I think there were 2 students, and I'm just saying, that probably said, screw this, I don't like this guy, and they left. And he's mentioned other students that I think either quit on him, or they spent a short time with him and said, nah, this just isn't for me, or yeah. But when I first saw that was a red flag that went up, but I just wasn't really seeing it at the time, if that makes any sense. It's kind of like, my first thought was why did they leave their stuff here? Because this equipment you actually pay for. You actually pay for this. And so I thought, why would they leave their helmets there? They would have had to pay for it. And then the other thought I had was, did they quit? And he was just telling me, you can just go throw them away. And I didn't want to do that. One, I didn't see any bins around. But I just took the 2 helmets and I set it on the flatbed that was like right next to us. You can't return this equipment because of the whole COVID situation. The helmets, though, they're made out of plastic. They can be easily sanitized, washed down. The boots, okay, I understand that. The glasses, they look cheap, so that's easy to replace. And same thing with the gloves. The helmets, though, are made out of plastic. So they can be easily washed, sanitized, and they're good to go. You could give it to someone else. If anything, I just dropped my hat. If anything, only this black thing here would need to be replaced since it goes on someone's head. But like I said, it's made out of plastic. Clean it, wash it up, sanitize it, good to go. It would be no different than a computer keyboard. Or half the stuff that you see in stores and stuff that people putting all their hands and stuff on. You know, I mean, if everyone is that paranoid about catching COVID because of sharing pins and whatnot, well, then I guess we're just in trouble if you world-wise. But yeah, I mean, I didn't see any reason to throw away the helmets. So I don't know. To me, the responsible thing to do is just to set it on the flatbed next to us. Number three, this guy did not go through the Swift Academy. And when he told me that, I'm like, oh, well, there's a surprise. The Swift Academy was awesome. Okay. So for those of you who want to make fun of Swift, or if you're thinking, Swift is horrible, no, I'm sorry. I'm going to stick up for Swift. Their academy was good. The trainers were great. They were helpful. And I felt really good coming out of that academy. Now, this guy, who should be featured on the Bonehead Truckers channel, he came from some CDL school, not a carrier, but from some CDL school down in Tucson, which is no longer in business, and there's a reason why. But he said they would pass anyone. Didn't matter what they do, unless they couldn't straight back, they wouldn't pass them on that. But you could run over every single cone, you know, on the road. Didn't matter. They would pass you no matter what. Because apparently their way of thinking was, well, when you get on the road with a mentor or trainer, they're gonna hone your skills, or you know, whatever the case is. Well, gee, no wonder they're no longer in business anymore if that's the case. And he told me the name of the school. I don't remember what it was. Not like it really matters. But he told me he had been in like 2 or 3 accidents while driving under Swift. And once again, I thought of Bonehead Truckers, right? School. Oh, Swifty Swift. Oh, good old Swifty Swift. Look at that Swifty Swift driver. Yeah, he would definitely be one of them. And I guess Swift was going to fire him. But, you know, I mean, he did a good job, I guess, in regards to, you know, like like he was getting loads delivered, and you know, he knows his stuff in regards to, you know, securing the loads. And so they gave him a chance, like one last chance, and he didn't have an accident for seven years or something like that, which, you know, may be true. I don't know. It just seems weird that you would have like 2 or 3 accidents within your first year, and then nothing, you know, 7 years later. That just doesn't seem, you know, consistent. But, you know, maybe it is true. But, you know, I don't know if he was a good driver or not, because I drove the entire time. I didn't really see him drive, with the exception of him backing up the vehicle, or maybe moving it in the parking lot. But, you know, backing up in a parking lot because he thought I was too slow, or I did a bad job, or because I didn't do it the way that he wanted it to be done. I mean, if I get it in the freaking lines, what the hell does it matter? As long as I get it parked and I don't hit anything and it's in between the lines, what does it matter? I've accomplished it, right? So even if I have to, I mean, when it comes to parking, you got different ways you can do it. If I'm able to do a straight back, it works. If I have to do a 45, if I do a 90, you know, or maybe I do a combination of them, as long as I get it parked, what does it matter? No, not to this guy. I had to do it his way. I just showed you. You're not watching. Oh, just get out. I'll show you again. Or I'll just do it. That was this guy. I mean, like I said, in his defense, he knows how to do his job, not the mental part. When it comes to the work, he knows how to do the job. So, I compliment him for that. I only saw him uh, with a couple of loads, like the first one that we did where we delivered to Lowe's, and then the one where I shouldn't say we, it was all him, but the load with the coil. I know I watched him because, well, I tried to help, but, it was just going, just doing it wrong. But I watch. He knows, like I said, he knows what to do. From what I could see, he didn't seem like he was completely out in space and didn't know WTF about what he was doing. He seemed very knowledgeable to me on what he was doing. And for a bit there, I was thinking, hey, I'm going to learn a lot from this guy. He seems to really know his stuff. But our personalities, yeah, no. I mean, I like to think of myself as a fun guy, sense of humor, try to get along with people. I mean, you guys should know that. I mean, I've done live streams, and I try to do my best to entertain and have a little bit of fun. Man, this guy wasn't fun at all. Once in a while, he cracked a few jokes that I thought were funny. But, I mean, I don't know. It's like it was more complaints and everything else. And politics thrown in there. And, yeah, when I'm trying to drive, it's just not good. In some cases I wanted to say something, but, I was afraid that he would just get nasty to me, or when I needed help, he would, it was bad enough to whenever I asked a question, even if it was something I asked before, but something I'm just trying to clarify and understand it better. Well, I just told you, weren't you listening? I mean, yeah. It's really frustrating. It's frustrating because I really wanted to do the flatbed. That's why I came to Swift. Well, I mean, I was going to go into rail transport for the flatbed. That's all they were hiring for. But then when I decided to go with Swift and they have flatbed, I figured, hey, why not? And I figured I would just build my muscles up as I go. But the experience I had with him just really soured my feelings on doing flatbed. Not that the Flatbed Division is bad. I've met the people there, and the Flatbed Leader is a wonderful guy. Props to him. He and I have had some conversations, and they've been really good. Very, very good. He's been very supportive too. And I even, I told him, I said, I don't want to get this guy into trouble. And he's like, no, you're doing the right thing. You need to report this because, safety is important. We don't want to put anyone at risk. And that's why I'm doing these videos too, because not that I'm calling the guy out. I've never mentioned his name. And I don't do that crap on social media, unlike some other people that are like, oh, great TikTok video, and they start putting them in videos, and no, that's just not cool. That's just totally not cool. But yeah, I'm doing this for you folks so that way, if you're ever in a situation with a mentor that treats you like this, get out of that situation. Don't spend any more time with them, because quite frankly, I was afraid. I was afraid I would react in such a way that would be bad. But I was also afraid that he would react in such a way that would cause me to react in such a way. It was not a good combination. Like you take two volatile chemicals. They're both bad, but they're harmless by themselves. But when you put them together, you get an explosive. That was this relationship. It was just like that. And it was beginning to boil. When he jumped on my case of the night when I wanted to, well, not wanted, but when I needed to turn left into the Love's truck stop, and I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was going to do. I was going to, pull up and hook my left turn just as I was trained. So because I couldn't see, so I didn't know what was out there for my tandem wheels. And he just, what the hell are you doing? And that's like when I snapped. I'm going over there. Don't yell at me, man. Yeah. And it's not like this was just one thing. It was building. It was building up to that point. And I knew at that point I started thinking, I don't think this is right. And I couldn't get any sleep. I managed to sleep, I think, an hour, but I kept, I was up wondering all night, what the hell am I going to do? I don't think I can last another day or a few days or even a month or more with this guy. And also wondering, how well am I going to be trained by the end of it? And that's when I just made the decision. I got to get off this guy's truck. And it was a very strong prompting to get off this guy's truck. It was like, get off this truck now, or, soon, as soon as in get your stuff packed up. And I've had promptings like that before where, if I didn't do it, I regretted it. So, and yeah, it's soured my experience. But for the Flatbed Division, it's not your fault at all. You did everything that you could. There's only so much that they could do because, well, if they don't have anyone really available to give me the training that I need for the flatbed before I went out there, well, what else can they do? Are they just going to hold me back? No, they want to get me out there. They want to get me out there and trained. And, well, I thought the alternate way is like, hey, the mentor's going to kind of train you on stuff, and whatever you doesn't get covered, we'll take care of it when you get back. That made sense. I would have preferred to have all that training before I went out. But, I guess the other way would have worked too. I got to be trained one way or the other, right? But, yeah. And there's more stuff in regards to this guy. And I'm not making this up. I know that's just empty words, but the more I think, the more I ponder, the more I realize how bad it was. Have you ever had that experience? I'm sure you have. Like, you've been in a relationship with someone, and at the time, there are things that bothered you, but after you've broken up, or, then you think back and you start realizing some other stuff that was going on. You're like, wow, I'm surprised I didn't say something or stand up or, recognize it at the time. And I started realizing there was a lot more stuff because I was going through the mentor student driver guide, okay? This is something that my new mentor was telling me, he was giving me some pages to go over. And I went over them, and then I started just kind of going through the book just from the beginning, because I wanted to, get even more prepared when going out with this mentor, because he's a great guy. And so I want to make sure, I do the best I can for him. So I started, going through the book, and, well, I'm starting to get a little lonely out here, out in the middle of nowhere. So I wanted to just make use of my time. So I started going through this, and I started realizing, holy crap, there's more stuff about this, my previous mentor that he was just not really doing. One of the big things was the pre-trip inspection. So I'm going around the vehicle wanting to do the pre-trip, and he was like trying to say, oh, we can do this like within 10-15 minutes. And I'm thinking, like, it took me longer than that, when doing it during the school, and we didn't do it the whole way. It was like we did one side, and then it was like, I would check this axle the same as this axle. I would check this side as the same as the other side. But I think a proper pre-trip inspection with an air brake test would take, I don't know what, somewhere between 30-45 minutes, right? No, this guy wanted to get it done in like 10-15 minutes because it was more important to him to go, go, go. Got to get the wheels turning. Got to get one load after another. Da, 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 da. He was more focused on money. And he was like boasting about the fact that he made $90,000 last year. And later he changed it to $100,000. I think, hey, good for you, buddy. That's a lot of money. What'd you do with it? Hell if I know. I don't know what he did with it. It doesn't sound like he's doing, I don't know, it doesn't sound like he manages money well. He certainly doesn't live like he's made that much money. I mean, based on what I saw on that truck, I mean, he wasn't a complete slob, but, he wasn't very organized either. But yeah, so going through this here, like I said, he was just, did you read the book? Read the book? Read the book? Like, well, if I read the whole book, what do I need you for? So yeah, the pre-trip was one thing. So, like, driver will conduct pre-trip, on-route, and post-trip inspections of all types and correctly complete required reports. And I realized that when we were doing safety checks on the load, we checked the securement of the load. That was the only thing we checked. And correct me if I'm wrong, for those of you truckers out there, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're supposed to be checking the tires to make sure that nothing went wrong, that no debris got into the bud spacing, maybe rechecking the lights, make sure the light bulb didn't go out or something, right? Like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought we were supposed to do a simple en route check as well as the securement of the load. But at least that was my understanding. So, I mean, yeah, that thing would probably take 5-10 minutes. It's just unbelievable. And when I was going to go around and check the tire pressure on all the tires, and I had asked him, I said, and this was to start off with, like on the first day, I said I was going to check the tire pressure. Should these be like 100 or 110 pounds? And he was like, what do you need to check them? And he's like, they were fine. They were fine yesterday or whatnot. They're fine now. And he said that about other things about the truck too. And on the first day, when I was doing the pre-trip, I noticed that the window washer flow was really low. And it didn't, when doing the test with the front windshield, like the window washer fluid didn't come up for a moment. I thought it was broke, and then I noticed that there wasn't. Well, I noticed it at first, and I thought there might have been enough there to do to clean the windows. Nope. And I mentioned to him, I'm like, this is low. Oh. He only filled it because I said it was low. All the other fluids looked fine when I checked it. Shoot, I think even the second day we didn't do a full pre-trip because he was like, "Well, we just did it yesterday. It'll be fine." Like I said, he was more in a rush to just go to go do stuff. And I remember when he was like he wanted me to teach him how to do the pre-trip. He's like, I'm gonna need you to show me how you do the pre-trip and everything. Yeah, no, not as a test to me, but because he wanted to learn better himself. Which at the moment I thought, oh, okay, um, maybe he wanted to know, a little bit more, kind of like a thing like how are they teaching it now type of thing. And then I started to realize that this guy, maybe he knows how to do a basic pre-trip, but I don't think he knows a proper pre-trip. And the more I learned about the guy, the more I was beginning to realize, that probably was true. So, like I said, I didn't see him drive, and maybe he can get the work done. That's all fine and dandy and stuff until there's an accident or something bad happens. So I don't know. But here's some things here. Performance criteria. Perform pre-trip inspections in a regular, systematic sequence that is legal, accurate, uniform, and time efficient, using pre-trip inspection outline and driver quick notes. Well, yeah, I guess it was time efficient. I don't know if it was legal, accurate, or uniform. Perform on-route inspections by checking mirrors for signs of trouble. Oh, here's another thing too. His mirrors were all dirty. It was all dirty. I could use them, yeah, but I was like, well, you know what? This is not what we were taught. I went around and I cleaned them. They were only clean because I cleaned them. And the front windshield was a mess. I tried to clean that the best I could, but there was like stuff stuck on there, and I tried to do what I could with that. I think really in order to clean it, you'd have to get up there somehow with a brush. You'd scrub the windshield. If it were my truck, I would sit there and get up there somehow and hand scrub the windshield and get it a lot cleaner than what it was. Perform each type of inspection according to the rules and policy as adjusted for specific equipment or cargo. Okay, well, I think he, probably did that. Then there's this training pre-trip inspection checklist. He didn't do any of that with me. Performance skill. Exercise basic control here. Achieve smooth and effective acceleration and stopping. Get into and out of a cab using 3 points of contact. Okay, well, not just a cab, but let's just say the 3 points of contact in general. I was being careful as much as I could, using 3 points of contact, trying to get up. And, maybe I'm wrong, but he seemed a little annoyed because I was doing that and it was taking more time to do what I needed. And of course I'm sitting there going around this coil and I'm just kind of holding on to it as I'm going around it because I didn't want to fall, and I figure, well, 2 points of contact, my 2 feet and I guess a hand, on the coil, it can't really grab onto it, and I started thinking to myself, it's like, well, maybe I can't exactly do 3 points of contact on this flatbed all the times, but he didn't seem concerned about it, or maybe try to tell me, a proper way to do it. I mean, I could have fallen and he would have been, he probably would have said something like, didn't they teach you how to do this in Top Gun? I mean, he was always blaming Top Gun. Oh, jeez, I did not like this guy. I mean, some of the stuff in here he did, like, he showed me how to use well, it's not a Qualcomm device anymore. They use Zonar. But whenever I didn't quite understand, it's like he would show me, and I'm supposed to like have a photographic memory, and be able to get it down like that, right? So when I'm like, okay, so I need to do this, and how do I get the macros? I just showed you. Oh, he wouldn't answer, and he would stare at me. Oh, nah. Oh, warning flashers. Oh my goodness. Here's another thing too. In some areas, I thought to myself if I should have the flashers on. Like when going into a place of business, maybe, getting loaded up or, coming out, maybe in a gas station. Uh, I mean, I didn't see any other trucks do it, so I figured, okay, maybe I don't need to do it. But in California, the truck was kind of struggling a bit, going up hills. And I remembered from the CDL manual, and in some cases, I think during the school too, that you should turn your hazards on, this to let people know behind you that, you're a slow moving vehicle. And he's like, no, we don't need to do that. This is California, they don't require it. Okay, well, maybe. I guess maybe that's true. I don't know. But wouldn't it just be common courtesy to do it anyway? Just so that way the people behind you know that, hey, I'm kind of struggling going up this hill. How else are you going to communicate with the people behind you? Do you just say, well, this is California, screw you? This is California, screw you. If you can't figure out I'm going slow, that's your problem. I don't know. Maybe that's how California does things. But it just seemed to me as a professional driver that it would just be common courtesy to turn on the hazard lights. I mean, why not? It doesn't hurt, and it would keep things consistent from state to state, right? Oh, jeez, What else? What else can I complain about this guy? If you need to talk to a student during their driving time, you must instruct them to stop, set the brakes, and turn the motor off. The student observers must be with you during this time as well. Well, this is about backing, so... Mirror adjustment. We did couple the trailer. I mean, that seemed okay. Uncoupling. I mean, there were some things that were okay, like more basic stuff, but then there were more finer details of driving that it just seemed like he didn't care about. Like he only cared about the major things, like doing a brake test. Not a full brake test, just maybe a half-assed brake test. Yeah. I don't know. The thing about him trying to say, because he would constantly make these comments about, well, maybe we'll make it there. But I don't know with the way you're driving. Oh, yeah, I don't know. It's just, I'm so glad I'm off that truck. I couldn't stand to be one more minute with that guy. It was just a bad situation, and it was only getting worse. And I didn't know how much more I could put up with the guy. The fact that it would have to be 1 hour, even if I had to put up with him for 1 hour, he could have said some things that just would have really triggered me. And it's not, I realized I was in a situation that I had to get out of. I didn't feel safe. I didn't trust this guy. I wasn't even going to drive. That's how bad it was. I didn't even want to drive. I was um and if I was to continue going to Oregon with him, I didn't even want to drive at all. I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to sit over here. I'm going to do my university work, look at my manual and stuff like that. I just did not want to drive for this guy anymore. I was done. And then later that night, I couldn't get any sleep, and I just started thinking, I was like, you know what? Screw this. I need to get off this truck. I don't need to spend time with this guy. I need to get off now. Because I did not want to be all the way up in Oregon, far away from home, and not knowing what situation I was going to be in. The best thing for me to do was to get off now before going any further. That was what was running through my head. So, I hope that gives you a little bit more information about what I had to go through. In some ways, you know, at the time I kept thinking maybe it's just me. Maybe I just need to just put up with it. You know, this guy seems like he knows what he's doing. I could probably learn a lot from him. But it just was not working. The more I was with this guy, the more I felt like I was stupid and an idiot. And yeah, I just didn't want to put up with it anymore. So, okay, so I want to give you folks some examples. If you're wondering just how bad things were, because I didn't go quite into detail about this person who was my mentor previously, I had to make a statement, and I sent this over to the Driver Qualification Team. And me working in an office for 15, 20 years, having to deal with emails and stuff, and I was even in management for, you know, a time, I know how to write, and I know how to write the office way. Okay, you guys get my drift, right? You know, where you have to be highly professional, picking your words carefully. For those of you who've been in office situations, you know what I'm talking about. So I wrote a statement explaining everything that was happening, reasons why I was resigning from Flatbed, why I wanted to get off this truck, why I was requesting this other guy to be my mentor. I did that, and it turned out to be a 3-page essay. 3 pages. Now I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but it does have some examples of some stuff in here that was happening that really bothered me, and it was just one after another that was building up to the point where I just couldn't take it anymore. And my driver qualification leader, when I told her that I had sent this to her, because I thought they were going to send me a form to fill out. No, it was all in my head. You know, I wanted to get it all out on paper or electronic paper. So I had typed it all out, and when I didn't get anything, I just went ahead and just I emailed her and said, I didn't get a form from you, but I went ahead and wrote a statement. Here it all is. Attached it, and then I called her and said, hey, have you looked at it? And she started looking at it, and what I hear on the other side of the phone is, oh my word. Oh my word. Because of how long it was and what was in it. So I've already mentioned before that this guy had belittled me. He treated me like a child. He treated me like I was stupid, or at least I felt like I was stupid. He caused me to feel, you know, that I just wasn't intelligent enough to do the job. Although later he would say, no, you're doing just fine. You're going to get it. You're just fine. But he would make these comments throughout the, you know, but you'll hear. So here are some examples of how he treated me. No, I just showed you. Here, I'll show you again one more time. If you can't get it, then maybe you should be assigned to something else. All right, that's one. Two, this is what he would say if I had asked him a question. Whether it was one time, two times, three times, whatever. And remember, I'm brand new at this. So I'm going to have questions, and I might ask the same question more than once. His response, I just told you. Didn't they teach that in Top Gun? And Top Gun had nothing to do with whatever it was I was asking him a question on. Top Gun, that was just backing maneuvers and stuff on the simulator. There's a whole bunch of other stuff in trucking that Top Gun has nothing to do with. Number three, I'm trying to get in there and help secure the load and stuff. So not only was I taking videos of the load and how things were loaded just for you guys to see, it was also for my reference too. I'm trying to learn this stuff. If I'm shooting a video and watching and explaining to you folks what exactly is being done, it's going to help me learn as well. This is how I learn. This is how I learn and how I understand things. It's unique for me. Is it how that person learns? No. Maybe they beat him over the head with a stick. I have no idea. But everyone learns things differently, and this is one of my ways that helps me learn. I mean, because this is just way out there for me. But I'm trying to get in there, and I'm wanting to try to do what I can on my own. But then he just stops me. No, that's not right. You need to watch what I do, and just basically, does it himself. And then later on, when he's like, oh, we did a great job securing this load, my thought was, we? You mean you? Now, I didn't say it, but I mean, it was him. It wasn't me. I might have tightened up like some winch or something, Maybe I did that. But it's not like I really had anything to do with it. Okay, maybe I held a chain, and or helped put the chain through from one end to another. I don't consider that me helping secure a load. To me, I want to be able to know how to do it by myself. And if someone's just saying, here, just pass this to me, just pass this to me. No, you're not doing it right here. Let me do it. That's not helping me one bit. What I need is someone to say, this is what you need to do. Go ahead, pick that up, put it over here, put this. No, that's not quite right. And just here, they just kind of adjust it. No, you go ahead and do it, whatever. But the thing is, this guy was focused more on money than he was training me. He wanted to get going. And I knew I wasn't going to learn a damn thing from this guy. I mean, yeah, I would have learned something, but I would not have learned enough to be able to go on my own. And again, I wasn't physically fit anyway. But one of the other things that he did was, how old are you, man? Yeah, like as if I should be old enough to know how to do this work. I could throw that back to him because he was complaining about the little tablet thing and how it doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. I guess I go, well, how old are you, man? Well, you don't know how to operate that? I mean, I could run circles around him when it comes to computers. But, I didn't sit there and try to belittle him or make him feel stupid or anything. He did that on his own. Anyway, there was another situation. When we went to go pick up that coil, we got load instructions. And the guy at the window was saying, okay, you need to go to bay H80 and you will go out from H82, right? However, the guy was wearing a mask. So remember, I said H80, right? Now I'm going to say it again. H80. Now, did that sound like an H, or did it sound like I said 880? H80. 880. H80. 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 Achy breaky heart. All right, do you get my point? I thought he said 880. And I even said it back. 880? Uh-huh. So as we're driving, I'm looking and I'm like, 880? Where's 880 at? And then he's like, you don't know, do you? You didn't even pay attention. And I'm like, well, he said 880. And then I realized it was H80 because I saw the bays and it started with an H and I saw the numbers. I'm like, oh, it was H80. And he's getting all irritated and everything. And I'm like, the dude was wearing a mask. It was like, you know, I mean, jeez. But, you know, it was also on the loading sheet, and I didn't know that at the time, but, you know, I know that now. You know, if there's a loading sheet, it has loading instructions on it. It actually had the place written out that we needed to go to. You know, really all the guy had to say was, oh, it's okay if you didn't hear him correctly. It's right here on the load sheet. So, you know, all I had to do instead of being a frickin' turd. Anyway, this location had special requirements in regards to you had to wear your personal protective equipment. So, yeah, we had to wear our helmet and our boots and vest. But it also required a long sleeve shirt. I didn't have a long sleeve shirt. I didn't know I needed one. And when he said, "Do you have a long sleeve shirt?" I'm like, "No, I didn't know I needed one. I thought you said you were prepared." I was like, "Well, I am prepared, but I didn't know." "So you didn't know? You're not prepared, are you?" "How am I supposed to know I'm supposed to have a long sleeve shirt if I don't know I'm supposed to have a long sleeve shirt?" I mean, you know, it's like saying, you know, "Why didn't you bring a light bulb with you?" "Well, I didn't know I needed to bring a light bulb with. I thought you were prepared." "Well, I thought I was prepared." You know, "Well, you should have brought a light bulb with you." "Well, how am I supposed to know I'm supposed to bring a light bulb unless someone says I'm supposed to bring a light bulb?" Okay, right? No one ever said anything about a long sleeve shirt. And, you know, the welcome kit that I got, you know, I had 4 short sleeve shirts from Swift. I got the driver qualification bag, had a jacket. That had long sleeves. I could have worn that. I would have burned up, but I could have worn it. And then when I got my personal protective equipment that had the boots and the helmet, there wasn't a long sleeve shirt with that. So what would make me think that I would need a long sleeve shirt at any particular time? You know, I don't know. I very rarely do I ever wear a long sleeve shirt. But yeah, so there's that. And then there is the issue when driving 55 miles per hour on the freeway. When in California, when actually my new mentor had told me that it's better to drive at 53 miles per hour so you have a little bit of buffer in case you're going downhill. Because the cops can and will pick you out at random. So I'm driving 55 and, you know, he's like, "Why are you driving slow? How does it make you feel that everyone is passing you? Does that make you feel that you're better than everyone else?" Yeah, he says that. And then there's a GPS, our Zonar tablet where we use to log our time and everything. It's also a GPS, and it gives you a route. that you need to take. And it's a calculated route. I think it might also be calculated based on traffic conditions too. See, smart person here, right? And because I was looking at it, but he's wanting me go take this direction, and like tells me to do that when I'm a little too, too occupied trying to drive and see what's in front of me, and then him wanting him to direct me someplace else where I would have had to unsafely move the vehicle off in one direction or another when I don't have much time to look and see if I'm even clear. And then when I don't do that, oh great, well now we just missed it. And then starts complaining that the stupid GPS thing isn't working. And then when we're in California, I'm still here. The traffic in California is really bad, and he had me go off the route because he thought there was a better way, and traffic was just backed up like nuts. He's like, I don't understand. This would get us out of here quicker. And I'm looking at the map, and for those of you who have used Google Maps or whatever, you know that the roads will also be color coded depending upon how much traffic is on it, right? So if the roads are red, that means that they're backed up with traffic. And I showed him the map, and I said, well, maybe we're getting this route here because it's trying to route us around traffic. Do you see these roads that are marked red? Do you know why they're marked red? No. Because they're full of traffic. Okay, we'll just try it your way. Okay, we tried it my way. I followed the GPS, and it was pretty much smooth sailing, I mean, yeah, there was traffic, but it was not bumper to bumper traffic like what we got stuck in because of him. So, yeah. When we were leaving the place where he picked up the coil, it was, oh man, this thing was weird. You couldn't make a right turn. I don't know who the hell thought of this. In order for us to come out, you could not make a right turn. You had to make a left turn. And with the way traffic is, you don't get much of an opportunity to do that. If you miss an opportunity, it may be another 5-10 minutes before you get another opportunity. And he's like, blah, 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 blah. So I don't know if he's mumbling or talking to me or what he's doing. But basically, as we're moving, of course, I figured this out after the fact. He basically wanted me to drive really fast to get to the end of the parking area to where the street is at, because there was a window of opportunity for us to get out into the street and make that left turn. And I'm not sure what he's rambling about because I'm focused on driving and, not trying to hit anything. And I get there up to the street to be able to make the turn, and of course, we no longer have that opportunity, or there was a slight opportunity, but he wanted me to pull out even though there was a car coming. Oh, they would have slowed down for you. And when I didn't do it, oh, great. Now we're just going to have to sit here. Okay, so yeah, there's another thing. I'm sorry, man. I mean, if you don't like the way I drive, then you know what? Screw you. You get over here. You drive. I'm just going to sit down. I'll just play video games. I mean, I'm going to drive the way that I'm going to drive and the way that I feel safe, the way that I was trained at the academy. Now, if I mess up, like I run over a curb, which that actually did happen, because I did not have a lot of room to maneuver. It was either hit this car or just keep turning. I tried to turn as wide as I possibly could. It's not like I went all the way over the curb. It was just barely nicked it. but he called me out on that. And that's fine. That's fine. Okay, that is a little mistake, that I made. But as far as you're not driving fast enough, you should have pulled out in front of this car while we had a chance. Or in other cases where we're at a truck stop and a truck is wanting to come out in front of us, and I'm being polite, I'm just letting him go, and he's like, you shouldn't have let him go in front of us. Or, whatever the case is, I'm sorry. I'm not a jerk. I'm a professional driver. And I'm going to be courteous to other people. And if they're in a hurry and they want to, jump ahead of me, well, fine, let them do that. But he's getting all mad because he's all focused on money rather than being safe and just, enjoying the time that's out there. All he cares about is money. And he even told me that. This is all about money. And he wants to make as much money as he can. He was like all proud that he made like $90,000, $100,000 last year or something like that. Well, goody, goody, goody. My goodness, I wish I could make that much. I mean, even half of that would be nice. And, I'm not going to sit there and run myself rampant just to make $90,000 or something, There's more to life than money, folks. And so then there are other things. Like there's the thing with the Zonar tablets. There's all these little areas you have to push to do your inspection. And there's these macros you have to select the list from when you're going to the shipper or receiver or this, that, whatnot. You got to do all this. And, I'm still trying to learn it and understand it. And when I don't quite get it, he responds to, his reaction to that is like, I just showed you. You don't remember. You weren't even listening, were you? Yeah. I mean, are you guys getting an idea of what I've been going through here? I'm not even close to done. Me being an intellectual, like I am, when I see things that could be done a better way, I'll offer a suggestion. And one of them had to do with pre-trips and planning, because you're supposed to stop first 50 miles to check your load, and then every 150 to 3 hours after that. And I thought, hey, because I had just gone through the university on the Zonar class, and you can add stops along the way. And I thought, hey, what if we went through here and pre-planned the trip and put in the stops of the 50-mile or whatever, so that way I didn't have to take my eyes off the road to look at the Zonar tablet to see how long have we been driving, how many miles, it's all in there. It's already in there. So I'll know when we get to the stop to do a safety check because it's already programmed into the Zonar because, I programmed it in there. So I said, hey, how about if we did this so we didn't have to try to figure things out while we're on the road? No, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. You can do it if you want on your own truck, but it's a waste of time. And it just completely shoots down what I have to offer. It seems to me that's all part of the pre-trip planning, or trip planning. And I remember reading that from some other people that you want to plan where your stops are going to be, so that way you know where you're at and et cetera. But yeah, no, he just totally shot what I had said. So there are times where I was asking this guy questions, and I would ask the questions because I want to try to better understand why something is done. Well, why is it that you do it this way? Why do you need two of these chains here? Or, why is it set up like this? Just do as I tell you. If you do as I tell you, you'll be fine. I'm sure there's more than one way to strap something, you know. Yeah, there's a basic way to that some things have to be strapped, but then at like a minimum, right? And then, some people may have their own way when they put additional stuff on there. But it's just kind of like, do as you're told. Yeah, one, how about you kiss my ass, buddy? Anyway, yeah. So yeah, that was another one. And then here, this was really starting to bother me. Um, when he makes comments of, "You don't know how to drive." Is that what they taught you in Top Gun? Man, my last student did the same thing. I don't know. Maybe the students know how to drive and you don't, buddy. Ironically, he had told me that you're probably a better driver than I am. Yeah, well, I can tell you that I am after I saw what I saw. Anyway, um, and then when backing, it's like he was expecting me to get it backed up perfectly the first time. And when I couldn't do it perfectly, or I couldn't do it exactly the way he wanted it, you just don't know how to back. You just don't know how to back. Yes, I do know how to back a freaking truck and a trailer. Do I do it perfectly like what you do it? No. I'm sorry, I'm not you. Will it take me maybe a couple of times of backing in, pulling up, going back, maybe getting out and looking? Yeah, it might. But once again, this guy's in a rush. Gotta do this, gotta get going, gotta get going. Blah, 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 blah. And he was not interested in training anyone. He was only interested in making money and maybe having someone there that supposedly talked to. I wouldn't call it talking. Or someone to supposedly help him with the loads, if you call that helping. But anyway, and then there was the thing that there was a straw that broke the camel's back. And this was the moment that I knew I had to get off the truck, because it was not going to get any better. It was going to get absolutely worse, because it was my breaking point. When we were coming up to the truck stop here, and it was night, and he went and this was our fuel stop, our assigned fuel stop that we had to go to, and 2 lanes were filled up, but I saw ones that were open, and I figured, okay, well, let me pull forward. We had to turn left to go in. Let me pull forward and then start turning, because it's dark, so I want to make sure, and it's just out of habit, I just want to make sure that I'm hooking around so that the trailer wheels, are going to, not hit anything or go over any curbs or anything like that. And he reacts, "What the hell are you doing, man?" And when he did that, I yelled back at him. I snapped. I said, "I am turning into this fuel stop like we're supposed to. There are openings over there. Don't yell at me, man." That was his response. And I just knew, from that point, I knew this is not going to work. This is absolutely not going to work. And if I stay any longer with this guy, I'm going to wind up losing my job. Like I said, I know my limits. I had to remove myself from this guy. So, and then, after I said that, hey, I want you to take me over to the Motel 6 or whatever, I'm not going to do this. Okay, well, what's the real reason? Oh, he knows damn well what the real reason is. I don't like him. I don't like him, and he's not a good trainer. Maybe he was at one time, but he sure as heck isn't right now. I told him the truth. I told him that I was not prepared for flatbed because I told him that I was not strong enough. And I gave him examples of why I was not strong enough. And so I didn't lie to him. I just didn't tell him everything. Because, again, I don't want to be in a situation. I'm trying to avoid a confrontation. So for those of you who know the book series, The Wheel of Time, great series. I highly recommend reading it. It might take you a decade or so, but it's well worth it. There are magic users, for the lack of a better name, called Aes Sedais. They are women. And this bond that they have to do requires them to have to tell the truth. They can't tell a lie. But you know how there is things in life where if you're too honest, that's a bad thing too. So Aes Sedai, they will say half-truths or not the whole truth. And so I had to take that frame of mind of like, I'm not lying to you. I'm just not telling you everything. And it was going back and forth between where the driver qualification team, they were going to have him take me to the Swift terminal that was an hour from here. And I was on a separate call with him saying, no, I do not want to be one more minute with this guy, much less an hour. After that one moment, no, I didn't, because he would have badgered me on that truck for an hour. What's your problem? What's going on? Da 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 da. While I'm trying to drive, or maybe I could have just let him drove and just tell him, shut up, don't talk to me. I suppose I could have done that. But I did not want to be in a situation with this person that would cause me to react in a very bad way. And things were getting worse the longer I was with this guy. I started saying things and reacting in ways that I feel are unprofessional and just not good. He was a very bad influence. I was not happy with the way that I was reacting. I needed to get away from this guy. I didn't want to spend one more minute. I did not feel safe. Yeah, so there was that. And when I told him that there's a change of plans, you're going to be dropping me off over here at this hotel, this one here that I'm at. Well, that's not what they told me. I'm like, well, it's different now. I'm staying at this hotel. You can call them and verify if you like. And I said, look, it's going to take me a couple of trips. Actually, it took me 3. It's going to take me a couple of trips to get my stuff over to the hotel. And I didn't get a room and then put it in there. I just grabbed my stuff. I told the person, it's like, look, can I put my stuff somewhere? I'm getting off this guy's truck who's a maniac. I need a place to stay. I just need to get all my stuff off of his truck. And he said, yeah. And he let me put the stuff in the back there while I was getting everything. But when I had said it was going to take me more than one trip, I should just leave your stuff on the sidewalk, is what he said. And I had responded, that's not a good idea. And he said, I don't care. You know, because I said, I was telling him, I said, I don't think that's a good idea. Don't think Swift's going to be really happy about that. I don't care, was how he responded. Now, did he just leave his stuff on the sidewalk? No. But he could have acted that way at any point. You know, on the way to the Swift terminal, he could have just said, screw it, and dumped me off on the side of the interstate for all I know. I don't know. He could, I mean, he could have worked me up to the to that point. That's why I just knew, I just had this very strong feeling that I needed to get off this guy's truck no matter what. And we were already stopped here. We're already stopped here. My stuff is packed. Just drop me off here. I don't want to spend one more minute with this guy, 1 hour, whatever. Drop me off here. I'll figure it out. I've been happy since because I haven't had to deal with that maniac. But then this is the big thing. This is the big thing right here that tells it all. When I tried to I tried to be positive with him, and I said, look, the good thing about this is that since I'm going to be staying here, you're no longer going to be delayed. You don't have to worry about me. You don't have to worry about stopping at the Swift terminal. You can just keep going. And his response was, you're already delaying me. It would have been faster at the Swift terminal. You're affecting my livelihood, man. That's what he said. His livelihood, his money was more important than training me. He has no business being a mentor. None. As far as I'm concerned. I mean, I'm new to this. I've never done anything like this other than a video game. Okay. This is a huge change for me. And he's more concerned about his livelihood. If he's more concerned about his livelihood, then you shouldn't be a freaking mentor. He's only doing it for the extra money. Yes, you do get extra money for being a mentor. But you know what that's for? That's to help make up for the time that you would lose if you were doing it solo. That's the whole thing. You want to be able to pass your knowledge on to someone else. It might take a little bit of time, but you're getting that extra pay for being a mentor to help balance that out. Not according to this guy. And he even made a comment that, oh, it's great being a mentor. I can just let the student do all the driving. I just kind of sit here. Yeah. So this guy was just bad news. And here are some of the things that he did that was proof right there that he's just not meant to be a mentor. He cared more about making as much money as he could. Whenever I made a judgment call on what I thought was safe or unsafe, he got on my case. He was expecting me to not follow the rules of the road or what I was taught at the academy, because this is the real world, and that he's been doing this for 8 years. The scary thing is that he wants to be a CDL instructor. It's not to teach anyone. No, the only reason he wants to be an instructor is so he can have a regular 9-to-5 job and be home every night. That's what he told me. That's why he wants the job. He doesn't want to teach anyone. And he would ask me, how much money do you think they make? Do you think they make pretty good money? I don't freaking know. I didn't ask. Do you think I went to the CDL instructors over at the Swift Academy and said, hey, man, how much money you make? Well, that's kind of rude. You don't go up to someone, especially if you're new at a company. You know, what, you're going to go up to your new boss, hey, how much money you make? But the academy leader, I thought was a great person. He asked me, do you know who this person? I'm like, yeah. What nationality are they? What does that have to do with anything? He was basically asking me, what color were they? What was their, were they white, black, Chinese, or Asian, whatever? He was asking, what's their nationality? What does that have to do with anything? Nothing. It was a racist comment. It had no merit, nothing. So I mean, instantly the impression I got from that was like, it had to be some white person in order for him to be a CDL instructor. Oh, I was so offended. I was so offended when he made that comment. Oh, jeez. When I'm driving, he's over there on his phone making personal phone calls, talking to his dad, talking to his brother, talking to a friend, calling the air conditioning company. It was Semper Fi. I remember that because, it's a Marine saying. Well, apparently there are these Marines that own an air conditioning company, and he was calling them because apparently he got the wrong air conditioner, and they're supposed to come get it. Everyone's asking if they can buy it, and no one wants to talk to him because they've already got his money. Do you see what I'm going at? And I know his situation with his father and all this other stuff, because he's making these personal phone calls while I'm driving, which is kind of distracting. And he shouldn't be doing that. So I know things about this guy's personal life, and I don't freaking care. And then he's watching TV shows over there on his phone. And if I'm asking him a question, if I'm asking him a question, or if I just want to chat a little bit because it's dark, it was like nighttime, I thought it would be nice to have a little bit of a conversation while I'm driving. What? Just like that. That was the response. And either is like, well, I just told you that. I just showed you that. Or, whatever. And then he would just go back and look at his phone. All the buttons on the dash. And there was like one video, and one of you folks out there was saying, oh, that button is this. I'm like, oh, hey, that was great. You were more helpful than my mentor was. I was asking him about some of the buttons on the dash because I didn't know what they did. I'm like, do you know what these do? I don't know. Look it up on YouTube. That's what he said. Look it up on YouTube. And then was like, what? They don't teach that at the academy. They don't teach that at Top Gun. And I gave him my Top Gun paperwork. So, and it says exactly what it was that I did. I mean, he might as well say, what, you don't know how to change a light bulb? They didn't teach that in Top Gun Academy? What, you don't know how to open up a water bottle? They didn't teach that at the Top Gun Academy? Okay, are you seeing do you understand what I'm saying here? And then also he started talking about politics and all this other garbage, when in the very beginning we had an agreement that wouldn't happen, but he wound up doing it anyway. So, yeah. This guy was raising my blood pressure. Well, I don't know if it was raising, it probably was. He was definitely raising my anxiety levels. I don't have my blood pressure machine here with me. I just thought it was just, I try to keep things as packed as I possibly can, trying to decide what do I need, what do I not need. I wouldn't be surprised if it raised my blood pressure too, but yeah. I had to get away from that guy. So I hope this additional information here helps fill in some more details as to why I had to get away from that guy. I didn't want to sit there and grit my teeth and try to make it one more hour with him or whatnot. I did not want to deal with it anymore, because I know how I am. I know what my limits are. And after I had yelled and snapped back at him, that told me right there I need to get away from him. Because I don't do that to people. You know, if you start pushing me over the edge, we're going to have a problem. We're gonna have a problem. Uh, so yeah, I was pushed over the edge, and I just knew. And since I couldn't sleep, uh, yeah, I knew I had to get away from the guy. So I hope that gives you some more information about what happened. And there's a lot more stuff going on. uh, and I'll just break it up into separate different episodes. Otherwise, it's going to get really long. But yeah, let's go ahead and close it from now. Like I said, I hope you're enjoying this series. It is definitely it's been interesting. It's been an interesting experience, but you know what? It's great material. It's great stuff that I can put together and send to you. Well, okay, I'm not sending it to you folks, but I'm uploading it to my channel, and yeah, you guys you're all getting to see a different perspective of a peek into someone's life and things that are going on and stuff. And yeah, I'm the star of the show, apparently. And I don't know, aliens might come and land and might take me away tomorrow, but I'll have my camera. And any opportunity I can to upload it, a new episode, I will say, hey, look, we're in the alien spaceship. That's the anal probe right over there. It's not quite what I was expecting. Oh, anyways, I will see you on the next episode. Have a killer awesome trucking day.